I have responded several times. I've also done probably, 50 videos on that particular type of wire and the correct wire that we use in our cages. So the study that you're quoting, in fact, is one that I do have on the Bun Club Wiki as one of the early reference studies. Now, let's explain that in full, since you've only read the abstract and didn't continue on with your research or read the whole thing to understand what wire they were looking at. So, hey, sweetheart. So Joni's going to be my example here. Hello, Joni. It's Joni. Joni is on the improved World Rabbit Science Association standard wire flooring. Now, you see how this is 1 inch by ½ an inch spread wire that she is on. That is the correct wire. That is the wire we use. The study that you're quoting was done on conventional European cages that had 3 inch by ½ inch wire, which is not enough surface area in order to protect their little feetsies. This wire that we use came after that study because they proved that they needed more surface area. So this spacing is similar to the plastic mats that they use. That is you see what she's on? That's the correct wire. The wire that they are on in that study is not the correct wire, and we don't use it because it does cause sore hogs due to lack of surface area. So these here, these are Warsa enriched cage sizes with full airflow that goes all the way down the entire barn. You see these? These are my KW cages. My KW cages are 3 feet, not 2 feet. They're 6 square feet. These are the 12 gauge wire floor, the heavier gauge wire floor with the correct spacing. They have dividers in between them so that rabbits can safely talk to each other without having to worry about hurting each other. So you proved nothing, because you didn't read the whole study. And I've gone ahead and I have shown you where that came from. That's a pilot study that you went over. And if you had actually read it, you would have also seen that it says in there that sore hogs are mostly genetic and can be bred out. And you will also note that they mentioned in there that the farmers and the rabbit breeders had already taken into consideration that plastic mats and flat areas were already being used in order for the rabbits to get off of that 3 inch by ½ inch spaced incorrect wire. It's your binkies. You're so sweet. And again, Joni. We love it, Joni. Good girl. Got your toys? Big Joni. So anyway, but that's kind of where we're at there. So are you happy now, Leroy? Jenkins? You happy? Go get some chicken, leave me alone, or actually read shit before you want to go prance around with your chest puffed out over shit that didn't mean anything, because you're wrong. Next time, actually read the studies and understand what you're reading. Because you can't compare apples to oranges. You can't compare proper gauge wire flooring to the improper gauge wire flooring that's in that study, because that was a study done on the conventional cages. And I've done an entire video explaining what the conventional cages are. Conventional sized European cages that are too small for rabbits, that were causing scoliosis, that were causing issues, are the size of a Flemish Giant carrier. If I can find one of my Flemish carriers, I'd show you what I mean. But actually, we got one. Got one outside, I think. So let's go ahead and show, let's see, and show what, sizing-wise, this is actually bigger than a European standard commercial cage. So just so we can understand what we're talking about. This carrier, you see this carrier? This carrier, compared to the cage that Vicky is in, this is actually larger than the cages they use in Europe. That is the size cage, the European conventional cages that Europe keeps their rabbits in 24/7. That is a third of the size of one of our holes. A third of the size. Hell, I'll even take Vicky out. This is Vicky in Vicky's regular cage. This is Vicky in Vicky's house. See how much room Vicky has? And Vicky is a big girl. Vicky's almost 12 pounds. And let's go ahead and put Vicky in the carrier, which, by the way, oversized, bigger than what they put him in Europe. Ready, Vicky? European conventional, actually bigger than a European conventional cage. It's a Flemish Gyre carrier. That's what they go on transport in. You see how much room Vicky has? Barely 4 inches around her on all sides. That is what the European rabbits were living in at the time of that study. Okay? Let's just go ahead and make sure you understand what we're talking about when we say ours are the superior cages because we use the improved standard. Again, Vicky, in what would be the equivalent of a European conventional breeding cage. Vicky, in Vicky's regular house. I'm sorry I had to do that, but you's okay, right? Come here. How's my girl? Huh? How's my girl? My good girl. Yeah. So yeah. Vicky in her regular house. So we understand, we see how much bigger. That is our standard size doe cages. That is how much space is in the doe cage. Isn't that right, my Vicster? Yes, my pretty girl.